first thing I built, I was about 8 years old, and it was actually a device that you plug into the telephone line and will still let you dial out with the phone line, but for anybody calling in, it would appear as a busy signal. So it was really good for telemarketers, but I wasn't thinking about it like that when I was younger. It was really just sort of a mischievous device so nobody could call in and call my parents. In 1992, when I was 15 years old, I joined a group of guys called The Loft. And this was a little hacker clubhouse in Boston. And there were 7 of us, and all of us had met on bulletin board systems, over the computer, on modems, basically communicating with each other. So this was a unique opportunity for all of us, really, to meet in person and do things in person.
And like any ethical scientists, they test the Shockerator on themselves first. Or at least Zaz tests it on Joe.
A long story short, we ended up getting contacted by some people at the US Senate who wanted us to testify about the state of computer security in government. And that was, we were blown away. I mean, for 7 hackers, we weren't even using our real names. You know, my nickname is Kingpin, and that's what everybody knew me as, KP. They never called me Joe. So we all used our fake names, our handles, testified in front of Congress with Senator Thompson and Senator Glenn and Senator Lieberman about the state of computer security and how bad government security was.
Joe lands another blow to the head and knocks Melissa's lights out.
One thing that a lot of people probably don't know is that I'm actually on a Trivial Pursuit card, which came out of being involved in The Loft and testifying in front of the Senate. We had that board game at a company that I helped start back in early 2000, and we had the cards just lying all over the lunch table, and we just read them during lunch just for fun. And one day, one of the guys saw the card, and it said, "What group of geeks claimed they could take down the internet in 30 minutes?" And lo and behold, that was us. That was The Loft.
Just one of them press junkets. Who do you want dirt on? I've been doing special effects off and on for probably 20 years. And one of the favorite shows that always comes back to mind is Batman and Robin. We created a 17-foot orchid that opened up that Uma Thurman was in. And I sat with a couple other friends of mine below this for about 2 weeks in a dark cave. That was fun.
While most inventors would put their ideas on paper, Terry keeps them all in his head.
I see visually in my head the whole thing assembled, so I know how things are supposed to line up. You know what is really weird is this is actually what I do for fun. When the day is over, I design little mechanisms and little robot heads, and I sit here and machine things and just turn the music up loud and go to town. I really love creating mechanisms.
With the rest of the team gone for the day, Terry's taken it upon himself to get caught up, so he pulls a late one, hoping to get one robot skeleton done by the time the team arrives in the morning.
I love watching people's faces, especially children, when you see their eyes light up and they are taking something apart, trying to figure out how it works. We had one of the builds that we had done on the show was boxing robots. When everything was said and done and the fight had been called, everything was done, a gentleman had come up to me and said, "My son wants to hug one of the robots." And I said, "Let me turn everything off." So we shut all the systems down, and it's a little 5-year-old gets up on stage and starts hugging on the robot's leg and said, "I love robots and I want to make robots." To me, that was the payoff. That's ultimately what it is. If whatever we create may be, you know, completely whimsical or fantasy driven, if somebody in, you know, the middle of nowhere watches the program and says, "That gives me a great idea to create XYZ, which may actually help society," then my job is done. I love bringing creativity out of other people.